Yes, hello, welcome to KamBeInspired podcast. My name is Kam, a coach, author, motivational and inspirational speaker. And the aim of this podcast is to inspire and motivate people to go after their goals and dreams. How? By facing their fears. This is the number one thing that stops us from going after our goals and dreams. And that's the reason I started this podcast. So hopefully by the end, you'll be inspired to go after your goals and dreams. And today's, I'm going to be talking about living your authentic life. Just a quick recap in case you want to know a little bit more about my story. You've got go and listen out, tune into the podcast I did last week. You get to know a little bit about me and my story. And for today, let's dive into today's topic. So, living your authentic life. First of all, what does it mean to live an authentic life? Let me first go into what does the word authentic mean. So when I looked up authentic means to be real, to be genuine, to be true or original to who you are. Have you had those times where someone say to you, come on, you gotta be authentic. Say, authentic for me is just being raw. So it's like, who are you really? And that's what today I really felt strongly to talk about living your authentic life. What does it really take to live an authentic life? For me, I believe this is one of the hardest things, yet the most rewarding that anyone could ever do. Excuse me. When you talk about living your authentic life, it's being true to who you are. In fact, it reminds me of a quote. Let me start off with this quote. Dr. Howard Thurman said, there's something in each and every one of you that waits and listens to the sound of the genuine in yourself. It is the only true guide you'll ever have. And if you cannot hear it, you will spend all of your life on the ends of strings that somebody else pulls. What Dr. Howard Thurman was talking about was that for you to live an authentic life, it's gotta be something that's you. Most of us don't live our authentic life because of people, because we want to impress others. So living your authentic life has to come from yourself. The causes that people don't live their authentic life is because they are subject to people's opinions. So someone comes up to you and says, this is what I would like you to do. And you end up living someone else's life. But I want you to ask yourself a question. Who are you really? And I mean to the core, to the deep. Who are you really? Are you living truly to your heartfelt desires? Are you being authentic in everything you do? When you think about authentic, I had someone say, you gotta dig deep inside and really find out what do you really represent yourself. Not what your parents want you to be, not what your friends want you to be, not what your spouse wants you to be, but what really excites you. When you think about your life, let me tell you something. You are not your job. You are not what you do. So that's why the word authentic comes in. You gotta be true to everything that you do. So, whoever is watching or listening, I want you to really take some time to find out what really makes you tick. If there was no one watching, if there was no one giving you any instructions, what would you be doing with your life? Who would you be? How would you show up in this world? How would you represent yourself? I want you to picture yourself. There's no one watching. You're just by yourself. How would you like to show up in this world? Assuming you are not being given any praises, assuming no one was telling you what to do, assuming no one was judging you. Imagine the kind of life you live. Imagine how you would show up in this world. Do you know, if everything was stripped away, that's the answer that you've come up with, that's exactly who you are. Then you're being authentic. Because you're not doing something because you want to be praised. You're not doing something for accolades. You're not doing something because you want to gain anything. That's what it really means to be authentic, to be true. Do you know that authentic actually comes from Latin? It's authenticos, meaning original. So you're not fake. Have you seen, we've all seen this social media, right? People post all sorts of pictures. Guess what? Those pictures, they've got filters, you know? Yes. They've got filters. They're all worked on. And it's like, when you really meet those people, they're exactly not like the pictures they show on Facebook, they show on Instagram. Sometimes that picture you put on Instagram, you've probably shot it what, 5, 10, 20 times? Is it really who you are? Are you really being authentic? When I meet you on the street tomorrow, whatever you've been showing on your social media, is that really who you are, or do you want to impress the world? So I want you to really think about this. If you want to really bring your goals to fruition and achieve those goals and dreams, let me tell you something. It's going to require you to be authentic. Because if you're not authentic, guess what? Eventually, the world is going to find out. Eventually, you'll be named. Eventually, things will come collapsing down on you and you'll be found out. So how about you ask yourself, what would it feel like to just be me? What would it feel like to show up as the me that's true to who I am, to the core of my being? This word authentic is so crucial if you're going to go after your goals and dreams, because at the end of the day, you can lie to people, but when you get to sit by yourself, only you know if you're being true to really who you are, or you are putting on a different persona. And of course, I'm talking about in different types. I'm not talking about like, we've all seen actors, right? When you're an actor, you have to get into that character. So that's different, because obviously you're acting maybe in a play, maybe in a movie where people like kind of become a different character. That's different. And I'm not judging you. That's what you have to do. But when it comes to showing up in everyday life, are you actually showing up as the person that you present yourself to be? The Socrates actually said, know thyself. find out exactly who you are and show up every day like that. And that's the most fulfilling thing. And I can't tell you if you're being authentic. Only you know if you're being authentic in everything that you do. And of course, the big question you're asking is, Kam, how can I live an authentic life when all my life I've grown up to imitate others? Kam, how can I grow up to live an authentic life when I don't even know who I am? Yes, let's get into some tactics. One thing I would like to share with you is, we've all heard of the saying, be still and know I am God. When I first heard it, we used to be kids and I didn't understand what it actually meant. But, as I've grown up, I've begun to understand sometimes you have to get still. So the first thing in starting to find out how to live an authentic life is start by taking time to yourself and be still. Put your phone on the side. In fact, turn your phone off. And when you wake up in the morning or before you go to bed, just really take some quiet time and listen to that small voice and ask yourself, who am I really? Not what have I been told I am, not what society is named me, not the achievements I've accomplished, but who am I really? Do you know, as I sit here and say that to you, I'm still to find out, am I really being authentic in everything I do? Who am I? I'm still trying to discover myself. But let me tell you something. The more still I get, the more quiet I get, the more I learn more about me. And I can promise you, if you start taking time to yourself, that still small voice that speaks to us all the time will start to speak to you. Ideas will start coming to you that will absolutely astound you. Ideas will start flowing into your consciousness that will lead you to living to truly who you are. And if you're bombarded by all the social media, the news, especially now, we've never lived in a world that is so crowded with social media like it is now. See, back in the days, there was no internet, but now we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Snapchat, we've got email. You can mention everything. So we get up getting caught into all these personas that people present themselves, that we want to be like them. And guess what that does? Guess what that does? It actually stops us from getting that time to know ourselves and who we truly are. So take time to yourself and find out, who are you really? For you to live an authentic life, it's going to take you a whole lot of time, but you have to do it in order to find out exactly who you are. Forget the good opinions of others, as I like to call it. People are going to give you their opinions. You should do this. You can't do that. But at the end of the day, only you know if you're living truly to who you are. Only you know if what you're doing is within your heart of hearts, as I like to call it. See, when you start living your authentic life, you will get that sense or that feeling, that happiness that you can't even describe to anyone, because you're living truly to who you are. So imagine if you set yourself a challenge and say to yourself, in 2020, I'm going to start discovering my original self. In 2020, I'm going to start discovering my role. In 2020, I'm going to start discovering my true self, because that's the only thing that's going to give you happiness. And when you start pursuing your goals and dreams, you're going to have to be authentic, because when you listen to people, guess what? They are going to lead you in the opposite direction. When you start listening to people, they're going to lead you astray. When you start listening to people, they're going to talk you out of your goals and dreams. And the story I like to actually share is, back in the days we knew we just couldn't fly, right? We've all heard of the White brothers. Imagine when they were starting that to build that airplane to get us up in the air. Can you imagine the people that came up to them, thinking to themselves, saying to them, you guys must be crazy? Can you imagine their family members holding meetings about them, saying these guys are crazy, we can never fly? But guess what? The White brothers were authentic. They knew what they wanted within the heart of hearts. And their dream was obviously to fly us in the air. And guess what? Because they were true to who they are, eventually they were able to get us off the ground. For you to live an authentic life, what is it going to take? It's going to take for you to stop caring about what people say. For you to live an authentic life, it's going to require you to do things you've never done before. For you to live an authentic life, sometimes you gotta be crazy. To live an authentic life, you're going to have to ignore that negative self-voice. Not only your own, but even others. And let me tell you something. Once you start living like that, like I said earlier, it's the most fulfilling thing that you will ever do. Do you know how many people say to me, Kam, you've never spoken in public before? But guess what? That's something I wanted to do. And the fact that I didn't have the skills didn't stop me. I had to find a way. Because for me, it's something that I felt was true to who I was. It's something I discovered and I started pursuing it. It's something I discovered and I started nurturing it. So, remember to live that authentic life. People like Mahatma Gandhi, who freed the people of India, those are people that really were living true to who they are. People like Nelson Mandela, these are people that live that authentic life. For you to live an authentic life, how about you start looking at those people in history, people who are living truly to who they are. Pick up one of their biographies and study what they were doing. These are people that lived truly to who they are. And I'm sure if you ask them on their deathbed, they would have told you they lived happy because they were living true to who they are. That was what I want to talk about today, about living an authentic life. How about you make that challenge in 2020 that you're going to start living true to who you are, not what others say you are, not what the negative self-talk says you are. Remember, if you do that, you will live a truly fulfilled life. And I would like to share my social medias if you want to get in touch before I wind up. You can find me, I've got on Facebook. You can also find me on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel. I'm going to put all my links here. I'm also on Instagram at KamBeInspired. Not only that, I've also got a radio show with my colleague Leandra, where you can catch us every Tuesday on ioradio.co.uk. And also, or you can find me on Facebook. Every single Sunday, I'll bring in you a topic where we dive into how to go after your goals and dreams. It's been Kam saying, come to my podcast, and I promise you, you'll be inspired. This podcast is on every single Sunday. I would like you to leave you with a quote from Anita Hicks before I finish. Anita Hicks is a motivational and inspirational speaker, a coach, and author. And for me, this quote really exemplifies what it means to live an authentic life. And it goes, have you ever stopped, taken just a little time to find those hidden treasures way down deep within the very being of your inner soul? Search for the you that's within, wonderfully, fearfully made you, in all shapes, colors, and sizes. Imagine a life without the uniqueness of the individuality, the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King, the compassion of Mother Teresa, the wisdom of Gandhi, the motivation and inspiration of Les Brown, the poetry of Maya Angelou, the leadership of Barack Obama, the dialogue of Oprah Winfrey, the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King, the vision of Nelson Mandela. The list goes on and on and on, yet the world keeps turning around and around and around, waiting for that authentic one to stand firm on their ground. Do you have a purpose? Do you have a plan? Do you have a clue where you even stand? What road are you traveling? The narrow or the wide? What's your testimony? Your story? Everybody has one. Are you a seeker? A soldier? Or on a soul journey of truth? Or are you just living your life what others have told you? Denying your God-given talents within. Who are you really? Will the real, authentic you please come forth and make a difference? Thank you for tuning in. It's been Kam saying, come to my podcast, and I promise you, you will be inspired. Have a fantastic week. This podcast is available on Spotify, it's available on Google Play, and it should be available on iTunes as well. Tune in online every Sunday for the KamBeInspired podcast.